In this question, you have to identify the hormones that stimulate the production of pancreatic juice and bicarbonate. Now, secretin stimulates the pancreas to release bicarbonate rich fluid, which helps to neutralize the acidic chyme from the stomach. And cholecystokinin, that is CCK, stimulates the secretion of enzyme rich pancreatic juice that helps in digestion. So, together, these hormones coordinate the release of pancreatic secretions. Hence, the correct answer is option A. In this question, you have to point out the reason for the Graves' disease. Now, Graves' disease is an autoimmune disorder that causes the thyroid gland to overproduce thyroid hormones, that is hyperthyroidism. And it is characterized by symptoms like weight loss, increased heart rate, heat intolerance, and sometimes bulging eyes, that is exophthalmos. Hence, the correct answer is option D, that is hypersecretion. In this question, you have to identify a peptide hormone which acts mainly on hepatocytes, adipocytes, and enhances cellular glucose uptake and utilization. Now, insulin is a peptide hormone that is produced by the pancreas that mainly acts on the hepatocytes, that is liver cells, and adipocytes, that is fat cells. It promotes glucose uptake and storage as glycogen in the liver and fat storage in adipocytes, thereby lowering the blood glucose level. Hence, the correct answer is option C, insulin. In this question, you have to choose the option that depicts the reason as to why the posterior pituitary gland is not a true endocrine gland. Option A, it is under the regulation of hypothalamus. Now, it is true that posterior pituitary gland is regulated by the hypothalamus, but this does not make it not a true endocrine gland. Hence, it is incorrect. Option B, it secretes enzymes. It is also incorrect because it does not secrete any enzymes. Option C, it is provided with a duct. The posterior pituitary gland does not have a duct, so it is incorrect. Option D, it only stores and releases hormones. Now, the posterior pituitary gland is considered not a true endocrine gland because it does not produce its own hormones. Instead, it stores the released hormones that are produced or synthesized by the hypothalamus, such as oxytocin and vasopressin. So, this distinguishes it from other endocrine glands, which both produce and secrete their own hormones. Hence, it is the correct option. In this question, you have to identify the compound or the hormone which is not released when there is a decrease in blood pressure or volume. Option A, atrial natriuretic factor. Now, ANF is released by the atria of the heart in response to increased blood pressure or volume and not when it is decreased, because it promotes vasodilation and excretion of sodium and water, thus reducing the blood volume and blood pressure. Hence, it is the correct option. Option B, aldosterone. It is incorrect because aldosterone is released in response to low blood pressure or volume through the RAS mechanism, that is renin angiotensin aldosterone system, because it increases sodium and water reabsorption in the kidneys, thus increasing the blood pressure. Option C, antidiuretic hormone. It is also incorrect because ADH is released by the posterior pituitary in response to decreased blood pressure or volume, as
It promotes water uptake in the kidneys, thus increasing the blood pressure or blood volume. Option D, renin. It is also incorrect because renin, which is released by the juxtaglomerular cells of the nephron in the kidneys in response to decreased blood pressure or volume, as it activates the RAS pathway, leading to vasoconstriction and increased blood pressure.
In this question, you have to identify a temporary endocrine gland in the human body. Option A, corpus caardiacum. It is incorrect because it refers to the neuroendocrine structure which is found in insects and not humans. Option B, corpus luteum. The corpus luteum is a temporary endocrine gland found in the human body rather in the female body, and it forms in the ovary after ovulation from the remnants of the Graafian follicle, and this structure secretes progesterone and some estrogen to support pregnancy, and if pregnancy does not occur, it degenerates after a short while. Now, hence, it is the correct option. Option C, corpus allatum. It is also incorrect because this structure is also found in insects and not in humans. Option D, pineal gland. It is incorrect because it is a permanent endocrine gland present in the brain that secretes melatonin. GnRH, which is a hypothalamic hormone, is needed in reproduction and acts on option A, anterior pituitary gland, and stimulates secretion of LH and FSH. Now, gonadotropin releasing hormone, that is GnRH, is secreted by the hypothalamus and stimulates the anterior pituitary gland to release two hormones. Number one, luteinizing hormone, that is LH, that triggers ovulation in females and stimulates the production of sex hormones such as testosterone in males, and follicle stimulating hormone, that is FSH, that is involved in the development of ovarian follicles in females and sperm production in males. And these two hormones are essential for the regulation of the reproductive system in both males and females. Hence, it is the correct option. Option B, posterior pituitary gland and stimulates the secretion of oxytocin and FSH. Now, the posterior pituitary gland does not respond to GnRH. Hence, it is incorrect. Option C, posterior pituitary gland and stimulates the secretion of LH and relaxin. It is also incorrect. As already stated, the posterior pituitary gland does not respond to GnRH. Option D, anterior pituitary gland and stimulates the secretion of LH and oxytocin. It is also incorrect because GnRH stimulates the anterior pituitary gland to release LH and FSH, but oxytocin is synthesized in the hypothalamus and secreted from posterior pituitary.